Welcome back to Quivercast. I am Dr. Reem Bahat, and today's episode is one that delves deep into the profound impact words have had on humanity throughout history. Words are not just tools for communication, they shape civilizations, affect our emotional and physical well-being, and even determine the course of history. In this episode, we will explore how language influences us from birth, how it can change the course of words, and how words shape the chemicals in our bodies. Words are the building blocks of civilization, from the earliest cave drawings to the great word of literature. Words have always been more than just a means of communication. They've been the foundation of societal norms, laws, and philosophies. But how did this all start? And how do words continue to shape the future of humanity? As early as we can trace history, civilizations have used words to organize, persuade, and create. Take, for example, the epic narratives and philosophical writings of ancient thinkers. These words didn't just tell stories, they laid the foundation of moral and ethical frameworks that shaped entire cultures. Great leaders like Leonardo da Vinci, Marie Curie, and Nelson Mandela used their words and ideas to advance knowledge, inspire change, and shift the course of human progress. Words can ignite words, but they can also bring peace. Words have been wielded as weapons, inciting conflicts, but they also have been used to heal, to negotiate peace, and to unite disparate groups. Think about the profound impact of a single word, freedom, in shaping the course of history. Words don't just shape civilizations, though, they also shape us as individuals. From the very beginning of our lives, let's talk about babies for a moment. From the moment we're born, we're surrounded by words, and gradually we start to learn them. Babies begin by babbling, mimicking the sound they hear, until one day they form a word. The first time they speak, there is a joy, a spark of happiness. And the parents are just with as the child. It's a powerful moment because it's not just the child learning language, it's a whole new world opened up for them. Learning words is vital for human development. Language is more than communication. It's a way for us to process our thoughts, our emotions, and our understanding of the world. And as a poet and researcher, I've always been fascinated by the way words and language interact with our bodies. Words also have an unforgettable impact on our emotional and physical state. Research shows that language plays a crucial role in brain development. When we hear or say certain words, our brains react, forming neural pathways and connections that influence our cognitive growth. But the story doesn't end in the brain. Words have a direct impact on our bodies, especially on our hormones. Words can make us feel anxious or at peace, and all of these feelings are connected to chemical reactions in our bodies. This is where I would like to talk about something I explored in my book, Quill the Hormonal Quiver, the connection between poetry and hormones. When I began to write, I noticed that certain emotions I was describing in my poems seemed to align with specific hormones. For example, joy and laughter are linked to endorphins, while feelings of love and connections are associated with oxytocin. So, I decided to take this one step further and match each of these hormones to a color, reflecting both their emotional and chemical resonance. Let me walk you through some of the hormone-inspired sections in my book. First, we have endorphin gleams, light green shades. This is all about the high we feel after accomplishing something or experiencing joy. Endorphins are our body's natural painkillers, and they make us feel invincible and happy. Then there is serotonin mucins, yellow shades, the feel-good hormone connected to the feelings of well-being and happiness. When you hear a word that uplifts you, it's often linked to serotonin. Dopamine euphoria, purple shades. Dopamine drives motivation and reward, giving us a rush of pleasure when we achieve something we desire. You know that feeling when you reach a goal? That's dopamine. Oxytocin ambience, light red shades, often called the love hormone. Oxytocin is what makes us feel connected to others. When you hear or speak words that create bonds, like family or community, it's oxytocin at work. Melatonin lullabies, dark blue shades. Melatonin governs our sleep cycle, and it's linked to relaxation and peace. This is reflected in the calming nature of certain words or phrases. Estrogen impressions, pink shades. Estrogen is tied to growth, transformation, and creativity. The energy and nurturing power of words can often feel aligned with the essence of estrogen. Cortisol chronicles, dark gray and dark green shades. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Certain words or situations can elevate cortisol levels in our bodies, especially when we are under pressure or facing conflict. Progesterone ponderings, light orange shades. Progesterone is associated with calm and security, often playing a key role in emotional balance. Words that bring comfort and stability evoke the presence of progesterone. Leptin oats, green shades. Leptin is connected to our sense of well-being. Words that help us feel fulfilled and content are akin to the effect of leptin. Adrenaline insights and dark red shades. Adrenaline fuels our fight or flight response. Words that activate, inspire, or challenge us to tend to resonate with adrenaline. So, why these colors? I wanted to mirror about the physical and emotional effects of these hormones to create a visual and emotional palette for each section. Just as poetry evokes imagery, these colors represent the energy and essence of the hormones behind each word. In poetry, language is not only a means of communication, it becomes a conduit for the emotional and physical experiences of being human. Through words, we tap into a deeper connection to our bodies, our minds, and the world around us. As we close today's episode, I would like to leave you with a passage from my poetry, a piece that speaks to the power of words and the strengths they can invoke. It's called Words We Say. We are afraid of women like you, women with the power to turn fire into water, with a strength so dire it could shatter mountains and carve rivers into the earth. You move as if the world were clay, shaping, breaking, while we tremble, silent in your way. Thank you again for joining me. I hope this poem and today's episode inspire you to reflect on the words you choose and the power they hold. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and follow me on social media.